Hello and welcome to what actually becomes a very broken Bolton Wanderers career mode here on dexteritybox. Please stay tuned for a video tomorrow, as in Sunday, that I will be explaining all these things and what it means for the series going forward. However, today we are in the Championship, following on from 2 seasons in League One. We got a surprising promotion. Can we stabilise in the Championship this season and kick on in the future seasons? We will have to wait and see. It will depend on if we can get good loan signings back from last season and if we can meet these objectives. Obviously, so we don't get a transfer ban next season, we've got to meet this financial gain. However, luckily it's a long-term goal, so we don't have to worry too much about it. This season, it means we're not going to get a hard transfer ban, but given the performance of last episode, we are in a soft transfer ban currently, and that is because the challenge that we face within this career mode that we have set for ourselves. We need to meet this youth development task. If we do not do that, we will be in a soft transfer ban again. Luckily, because the financial one is long-term, we can't be in a hard transfer ban, but I would like to get out of a soft transfer ban so we can actually sign players next season that aren't frees or loans or our youth players. But remember, no matter what, we have to have 6 youth players that have come through the academy in our team at one time. What really helped us out was some crafty loans like last season. I'm talking Aaron Connolly here. If we can go and get Aaron Connolly again, because he grew in our side. He was the top scorer in League One. He's 70 overall. That is a perfect rating for a Championship striker in the lower end, sort of mid-tier. And they have agreed to loan him out, so hopefully he comes back to us this season and doesn't try and stake a place at Brighton. We're also going to be quite ambitious, go for a Chelsea midfielder. We are in the Championship now, so it is attractive to Chelsea's younger talent. Obviously, it's going to cost us a bit in wages, but that doesn't really matter because we are a Championship club. That's not part of our challenge. It is about getting good players in, but obviously following the rules of it. We're going to sell Pelopessi at some point, but I'm waiting for a better offer. Like at the start of every season, I am scouting a load of players that might be decent for us, looking at frees, things like that. We are going to invest in youth. We have got crap scouts at the minute, and now we are a Championship club. We can spend some of that money on a good youth scout even, because look at our team. We could do with some better youth talent in there. I'm weighing it up. We might need to do some loans for the defence because we can't sign anyone, but we need to find a good free or a good couple of loans because that back line is worrying. We do bring Harrison, who came through our youth academy, in centre-back, but we do need more. We lose to Lincoln in the opening of the cup there, which is not an ideal start to pre-season when they're a league below us. But we are going to try and bolster this squad a little bit more. Gilmore does come in. He can go into that midfield. Maybe we'll lose some of our best players because remember, we are a selling club as well. But it is very important that we bring some youth players through, so I'm going to set up varied training sessions. Not going to show you them all, but that's what we're going to do. Invitational Cup against MK Dons. We actually get a win there, so we've got 3 points in the group, even though we lost the first match against Lincoln. Kicking forward, we can go on with that. We are going to trim the fat off our youth academy a little bit. We've got some players that aren't that great. We're going to bring some more players in and try and basically bring better youth in. 5-1 win against Doncaster there, so we're doing all right in the cup. An offer comes in for Lowe. Lowe has been an integral player in our squad. I want at least $1.5 million for him if he's going to go, because we could use him in the Championship, but he is getting on a bit now. He is nearly 30. I think he's going to become 30 this season, so we can look at it. Ward does pick up a long-term injury here, actually, which is awkward because our defence was already weak, so we're going to bring a 50 rated White in, which is not ideal. 56, whatever he is. We beat Shrewsbury on pens as we advance in this tournament here. We do need a stronger squad, but it's not going to help if we have to sell players like Weir. New Yorker after him, though. It could be a good opportunity for him. We've sold Pelopessi, which is probably a good one, actually. He was causing some unrest in there. We have got an offer that has been accepted for a comeback on low here, but I actually decide that we're going to keep hold of him for now. It's not the right time to let him go. As we go in for some striking options, just in case Connolly picks up an injury, because our squad depth hasn't got much quality in at the minute, especially for the Championship. We're going straight back down if we're not careful. So let's try and loan Ellis Sims in because he is a quality player that's not going to any other club at the minute. If we can bring him on loan, get him some game time, that is good. We win against Plymouth there in the cup, so maybe we have got through to the latter stages. Maybe we've got a chance at winning the pre-season. Defence is a big option. Ethan Ampadu is someone that was mentioned in the comments actually as well. We're going to bring him in. Well, we're going to try and bring him in for cover at that centre-back position. The good thing about this soft transfer ban, it does make us look into the loan market a little bit more, so we are going to look at some better players, basically, better players from higher ranked teams in the Premier League, players that we're realistically never going to buy. However, players like this, Cortez, free agent, right wing, 1963 overall. He's got great stats. He wants a long contract with us. His wages shouldn't be too much. He is a player we could develop. Unfortunately, he wouldn't count as a youth player. He probably would in real life because he'd go into the youth academy, but Bolton's first team at the minute, he can actually get in and around that. So we're going to bring him in on a long-term deal. The same with the midfield option. We've got a Cam here, 67 overall, 20 years old. Could be an amazing signing this. Get him on a long-term deal. We don't want too long because we don't want to be bogged down in case we go down, but 3 years is a good signing. I'd probably give him more if I knew he wanted such a low wage. We're going to have his wages around, you know, like sort of $3,000, which would be ideal for that, and he takes it. We just need to bolster that squad because it gets to the first of the month and we get injuries because that's the way the game does it, obviously. So Dilro's son here, he can come in as well and be an option in central defensive midfield. Left back's a real issue. Spurs have got a 24-year-old that's never going to get in their first team by the look of it, so they just want to loan him out. So hopefully they'll help us out with the wages. They do push on wages for him, to be fair. They want a decent split on it, but we do need a left back, and 68 overall is decent for the Championship. He should help keep us up. First press conference, let's get the boys motivated before we go on for the Sim to Glory part of this. We're talking about the new signings, bringing them in. Yes, the bargains, of course, they were free. Big team shouldn't release them. We start in the Championship against Derby. It is not a favourable result. We get a 2-1 loss there. So is that basically a sign of things to come within the Championship? We will see here as we head across to Reading away from home. It's going to be a tough one. Turns out not to be so tough. Amparo gets a goal for us, so Amparo's making almost an immediate impact for us, coming in, getting a goal at Reading. Reed goes up to 73 overall, and he's our goalkeeper. We're not going to keep hold of him for long, probably. We actually face Derby again in the Cup and get a 2-0 win, which is quite surprising, to be honest. But that is the joy of the Cup. Match against Birmingham here. We are slow rolling these because we're in August and we get a loss against Birmingham, which is not ideal at home. Fulham, we should get battered, but the simulation system, again, we win that because that's how FIFA works, obviously. They underestimated us. We got 2 goals away from home. West Brom, can they underestimate us? Can we get a win at home against West Brom? We cannot. They get a goal. It's a tight game there. Not much happens in the second half and they win it in the first. We're in the Cup again against Ipswich. Lower league opposition knocks us out on penalties, so we're out of the Cup in the second round there, which is not ideal if we wanted a Cup run, but let's try and stay in the league. Test against Huddersfield here. We get a win. Huddersfield are actually a good side on FIFA. Not in real life, obviously, at the minute, unfortunately for them, but that mixed bag of results puts us in 10th overall. I nearly said 8th because I'm so used to looking at Wednesday, but 9 points after 6 games for a newly promoted side. It's scrappy, but that's good. That is really good. It's not relegation form, that, so it's not too bad. We're obviously going to go through transfer deadline day. It'll only be outgoings. I'm quite happy with the decisions we've made in terms of players. Not much is cracking. We do get an offer for Lewis Harrison, but he is our centre-back at the minute. We need our centre-backs for this season. He's a youth player we've brought through. He ticks every box in this career mode, so we are going to keep hold of him because he is vital to our season and he's quite happy at the club at the minute, so why would we get rid of him? Transfer deadline day does go off. Nothing really happens. Nicholas Shaw picks up because it's the first of the month. He picks up a 5-week injury. Obviously, of course he does. Luckily, Nicholas Shaw's not that used with us. Now it comes up to the point where we sim through the calendar. I do it month on month. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm going to keep an eye on youth players, scout some players, see if we can bring some people in on freeze, things like that in the future. We're just going to have a look in the scouting pool, but we are going to go to January because that's how these sim to glories work. A lot goes on during these. We're not actually going to find out where we are. We could be relegated by January, to be honest, but I'm hoping we're not. We've got this match against Preston, the FA Cup, before we find out anything anyway. They get a goal against us, knocking us out of the FA Cup in January, which is not really what you want, to be honest, but we don't need a cup run if we can stay in the league, and we can. We are 5th. So we're definitely not going down by the looks of it, because they say 50 points and you're safe, but we're 5th. It's a bit ridiculous, that, isn't it? We are going to look at some frees here. They're mainly from America because Americans would want to come and play over here in the Championship. It happens all the time. 27 years old. He's a right back, can be a centre back. His wages are fairly realistic within us as well. So we're going to bring that guy in. Bazama at right back, centre back. We've got Danny Wilson here, another one of the Americans, 30 years old, centre back, centre defensive mid, 71 overall. We've got to prepare for another season in the Championship. So I need more players, squad players that can help bolster our defence because our defence is woeful at the minute, and the only good part of our defence is a loan, really. So we bring him in ready for next year. Having a look at the frees as well. Portsmouth, leagues below us, so we're going to have a look at poaching their best striker, 69 overall, 29. Our striking options, yet again, are loans at the minute, because we've had to do that. If we can bring somebody in permanently next season for a free, that is perfect, and we do that there. Nabbing and poaching the lower leagues opposition is what we do. We've got 66 overall, which I don't really like. And it's unrest in the dressing room. So, yeah, that's a new thing with FIFA 20. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and basically make everybody happy, look at all the contract situations and basically kiss everyone's arse and try and get out of this bad situation. And we should do it, to be fair. We should, give people the money they want, give them the game time they want, make everybody happy. Our youth players were on ridiculous wages there, so I do understand that they need to actually be paid fairly because they've come through the youth academy and grown really quickly, and now they're playing in the Championship. You'd expect to be paid well, so we do that. We do keep an eye on it. And I'm sacked here. I lose footage here, guys. This is why you can see a blank screen pretty much. Maybe there's some form of wobble on it, but I get sacked. I basically go through transfer deadline day, which you're not going to see, because when I got sacked, I accidentally deleted some of the footage as well, because I'm very clever. But I got sacked for unrest in the dressing room. Even though I'd fixed the unrest in the dressing room, they wouldn't let me not transfer players. Basically, it's a mess. I was 5th in the Championship, and I simmed literally like 3 matches to get us into late February, and I got sacked. So this is a reload save, and FIFA 20 is already annoying me. So a reload save, I don't really do much different. I just go in against Stoke, hope for the best, really, that I don't get it. So what I actually have got a plan to do is just go for any contract situations we can. But here's what the issue is within FIFA 20 at the minute. Georgiou's contract agreement has now been, all that crap. So he can sign on a free for someone. He is not my player. He is Tottenham's player. He is on loan with us. It doesn't make sense. So I go in and I think, sod this. I got sacked for having loan players that were unhappy with their contracts, which I can't do anything about. Let's just terminate the loans if they're not happy with their contracts. I don't care if I plummet lower in the league. It's the only way I can see myself not getting sacked in this career because it's stupid. So I terminate his loan and I think, do you know what? He's got contract running out, which means I can probably go in for him on a free. And we're going to try and get him in on a free. We do that, but we don't bring him on a free because he wants too many wages. And you know what? It means our left back position's a bit weak, but I'm happy to not have it. It's not really done much to the rating. I'm going to have to go through the season really slowly to avoid us getting sacked. I'm not going to show you all of that. It ended up taking me hours. Not hours, but it ended up taking me a lot longer than I actually wanted to slow roll through the season and basically just try not to get sacked by doing everything, doing all the press conferences, talking to all the players, doing all the morale things. And yes, that's maybe how career mode is designed, but you can't. FIFAs get so boring and so repetitive sometimes. I love to sim things. That's why I'm doing Sim to Glories. I'm never going to do, well, I might do something like it, but it's very unlikely that I'm going to want to do a traditional Road to Glory where you play every match on this, especially for YouTube, because the edits are ridiculous. You don't get anywhere far enough. It's way too much work when you're an unpaid YouTuber. Do you know what I mean? So my Sim to Glories, my challenges, they're a little bit of fun. If FIFA's ruined that, I can't see myself doing it until they fix this career mode and they balance it a little bit more so it's fair for all types of gameplay. We actually finished the Championship in 7th. So it's crazy. A run of form. I've not got sacked this time, luckily. We finished 7th. It's ridiculous. My team, Sheffield Wednesday, get relegated, which is brutal. I'd rather us have gone down, but I guess for the sake of this career mode, I've got to accept it. Hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Manchester United beat Stoke in the FA Cup final. Stoke got all the way there. Chelsea beat Ipswich in the League Cup. Really weird matchups. Again, Stoke have got promoted to the Premier League. It's just really weird the way the teams win on this and things. The simulation's just off. Barcelona winning penalties against Milan in the Super Cup. The Champions League, Real Madrid beat Liverpool 2-1 in the final. That's a little bit more of a better final than I've been seeing through these simulations. Actual teams I could see in the Champions League final getting there. It also takes the mick to load this, because I think that's why it crashes, because it has trouble loading these. Sporting beat Shakhtar Donetsk in the Europa League, which is, I guess that's okay as well. I'm just watch the video that's coming out tomorrow, guys. It's going to explain everything about career mode and what's going on with it. There's so much I cut out of these edits because it's a shambles. An absolute shambles, and not the kind of content I want to be making, and that is FIFA's fault. So cheers, guys. Usually I'd show player growth at the end of this, but by the end of this point, I'd already gone well over 2 hours that I'd expected to be filming all this. And basically, you don't need to see the players' growth. I'll show you at the start of next season, because I've had crashes galore. I've had everything. There's a lot of announcement stuff coming in that video tomorrow, as well as a take on FIFA in general. I was going to review it. It's not going to be a review anymore. It's going to be quite an interesting video. But thank you, guys. I know some of you really enjoy this, and I know quite a few people actually enjoy this. We've got that hardcore audience here. I'm doing my best for you. Hopefully, EA can fix their game, and I won't be pulling my hair out making career mode content, because if you've played this, you know it's a shambles. But obviously, get active in the comments. Any player suggestions, things like that, guys. No transfer ban next season. Wonderful. If we can get it working, that's banging. But for now, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, do all those things, and keep watching right here on dexteritybox.